So Mazal Tov on your recent Aliyah. I'm going to put here, up until now, you had your own personal Aliyah advisor that led you through the entire process to officially become Israeli and make Aliyah. And now that you've made Aliyah, you can be in touch with us, the post-Aliyah team. We work a little differently. We don't assign a specific advisor because you're post-Aliyah for life. And at any point post-Aliyah, whatever question you have about any one of the benefits, it could be a day after your Aliyah, a decade after your Aliyah, it doesn't matter. You can always reach out to us. I'm going to put in the chat our number, which is *3680. We answer the phones Sunday through Thursday, 9 to 3. And if you don't reach us on the phone or you want to be in touch with us over email, you can email us at answers@nbn.org.il. And then you will always be able to reach one of the post-Aliyah advisors. So I just put that in the chat, so you have that. So I understand you both made Aliyah this past Wednesday in Yerushalayim?
Yes.
Okay, and Susan, can I ask, how long have you been in Israel before your Aliyah? Have you been living here just a short period of time?
No, I've been living here. I came 3.5 years ago, decided to stay, went back and came back and made Aliyah from here.
Mm-hmm.
I live in Tzfat.
Mm-hmm.
I have been, and I'm very familiar with the city. My parents made Aliyah to Tzfat in 1979.
Wow.
And and when I got my Teudat Zehut number, the lovely woman who helped me looked at it and said, wow, you came here the first time a long time ago. You have a really old number. So, but I am delighted. I feel very blessed that I've made this this final step.
Very nice. That's great. Mazal Tov. And she said you had an old number because you got your Teudat Zehut number more than 3 years ago?
No. I came here as a teenager, and I was on kibbutz. And when I came, they automatically assigned you. I guess I was here for over a certain amount of time, but I'm not considered an Ola, a chozeret. They just assigned you because I was here in Israel. They assigned me with a number which I didn't know existed until I started the paperwork, went to the Misrad HaKlita the first time, and they told me. So so it's been a long time coming. I am, in fact, very familiar with the process and how things have to be done. And I basically have only one question. And that is because it's so important. So I got all my paperwork and I have my temporary card. And now I'm told I have to go to the Misrad HaKlita here and register with them or do some more paperwork. My question is, I want to do it like tomorrow, but it's impossible to get an appointment. Should I just go and walk in and have somebody take me?
To Misrad HaKlita? Look,
Yeah.
I'd say that it's hard to say. In general, we don't recommend people go without appointments because, they usually work only with appointments and taking people. That being said, if you want to try it, you're talking about the north, one of the smaller branches, where there's a chance that it's up to you. If you want to go and try, you can. If not, we can definitely assist you with getting an appointment by contacting them. It won't be tomorrow that you have the appointment, but we can also help and reach out to them.
I am in fact going to go tomorrow, and
okay. You can let us know how that went.
If for some reason I'm pretty good at this, and I do speak Hebrew, so I think that I'm going to take my chances. And so once I register with them, I can go to register with the Kupa.
So that depends on your status, and we're going to get to that very shortly. I know about the other two participants we have here, Nechama and Ditza. Just if you can tell me how long you've been in Israel before your Aliyah.
It's Nechama, and I've been here for 19 years. Grew up here.
19 years, okay. And Dita?
Hey, I've been here since January.
Since January. Okay, so the reason I ask is because your rights and benefits from Misrad HaKlita, you probably know this from the process and from your Aliyah advisors, are determined based on your previous stays in Israel. The longer someone has been in Israel, the less benefits they get for their Aliyah, absorption, because they've already been living here. So there's a difference between what Lisa, who's only been here for a few months, will be receiving, and Nechama and Susan. So I do want to start with some of the general things that are relevant for everybody, and then we can get into more specifics with other things based on what's relevant for you. I'll just start with your appointment at Misrad. So first of all, you all should have received this link to our post-Aliyah guide. We really try to update it all the time with the newest the newest information and things that come in. This one here is our fall version. And really, I suggest holding on to this and looking back at it. You all received this link, right? You have it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So we're going to briefly go through this, and then I'm happy to take any, questions. It's an advantage that we're a smaller group today, and we can really address the things that you guys want. So the first page here is in Oleg glossary. Some of you speak Hebrew for being here for a while. It basically has a lot of terms and stuff you'll be hearing a lot, Maze Bituach Leumi and Sal Klita and the Sefach and different things that are related to some of these bureaucratic steps. You all, I'm scrolling down because you just made Aliyah in Misrad HaPnim, I believe last week. And you should have received a few documents. So just to go over to make sure everyone is set with what they get, you should have received your temporary Teudat Zehut. The temporary Teudat Zehut, it's good to look over it. Make sure that everything there is correct. You might have done this already when you were at Misrad HaPnim, but just look at the spelling and your address and everything there is correct in the way you want it. Okay, the temporary card, as you see, is good for about 8 months. They also took your photo there for the biometric Teudat Zehut, which will arrive in a few weeks in the mail. There's some delays with the mail. I'd say give it like 4 weeks to get it in the mail. When you get your biometric Teudat Zehut, you won't need the temporary one anymore, but you at least have that now as something that you can use as a valid Teudat Zehut for everything you need in the meantime. Notice on the Teudat Zehut that part of it is the laminated card, the Teudat Zehut, and then there's this folded piece of paper that was added, this blue folded piece of paper that has your address. That's called a sefach. A sefach is an addendum, and it's connected to your Teudat Zehut. Basically, any information that were to change or could change, your address, marital status, children, all those things would be updated in their computers, and then you would reprint one of those sefachs, those pieces of paper, instead of issuing a new card every time. Biometric means everything there is like on the computers. But for address purposes, if you moved cities, it's very important to go and update Misrad HaPnim and then reprint that blue piece of paper that will show, for example, Susan can get services from the municipality of Tzfat because that sefach, that addendum, shows that she's a resident of Tzfat. So it's important to make sure that that's updated, and updating it in Misrad HaPnim, which is also called the Population and Immigration Authority, updates all the government offices. Any change in address you'll have in the future, you'll have to update your bank and your Kupat Cholim, but government offices would be updated by the change through Misrad HaPnim. In addition, the biometric Teudat Zehut, you should have received the blue piece of paper with a code on it. When they're going to come deliver it or attempt delivery to give you the biometric Teudat Zehut, they're going to ask you for a code. The code, I see Susan, you have the blue pieces of paper next to around. You have the papers you got. So there's a paper with a code there, the 4-digit code on the bottom of the page that you're going to have to submit to the delivery person. If you're not home and someone else is picking this up for you, they're going to need the code. So it's not enough to just have your temporary Teudat Zehut. They'll want that code. If you're not home when the delivery guy attempts to deliver it, or they didn't reach you, they're going to put it in the local doar, the local post office branch in your neighborhood, according to your address. And then you're supposed to get notice that it was put over there. It will be there for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You'll get some notices to come pick it up. And if you don't pick it up during that time, you'll get a notice that it was returned to sender. Return to sender means it would be going back directly to the branch where you issued it. If you all issued it last week in Yerushalayim in Shlom Tzion Malka Street, that's where it's going to be, and wait until you come pick it up. So it doesn't get lost in the mail. That's just its route, so you know, and you're supposed to get notifications on your phone and as an SMS. That being said, some people don't get these notifications. And on that page with the code, you'll also see in the middle of the page, you receive the tracking number. The tracking number is this long number that starts with an RR and ends with an X. It's somewhere in the middle of the page. So if you didn't hear anything and it's been 2 weeks, you didn't get any notice, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you can go onto the Israeli Post Office website, Doar Israel, Israel Post, under tracking packages. You'll type in the entire tracking number and it will tell you attempted delivery, it's put in the post office on this street, you got notice. It will help you follow all that stuff. I'm also just going to say here, you can feel mamash free to call us or contact us any step of the way of any of these things. You didn't hear anything, you didn't get it, you're concerned, whatever, please feel free to reach out to us. The last thing I'll say about the Teudat Zehut is once you receive it, physically receive it, either from the delivery person or from the doar, the last step you have to do is you have to activate it. It's not automatically activated until you activate it. The easiest way to activate it is about 24 to 48 hours after you physically receive the card. You're going to get an SMS to your phone telling you to respond with the one that it's really you and you want to activate it. Once you respond to that message, that will activate it. If you didn't get that SMS for some reason and it's been 2-3 days and you didn't get that, there's a way to update it to activate it online with a certain government account that you can open. There's also a way to walk into any branch in the country without an appointment and ask them to please just activate it for you. So just so you know, there's different ways to do it, but it is an important step to remember. You'll need to activate the biometric Teudat Zehut. Are there any questions about the Teudat Zehut?
No, thank you.
Okay, great. So I'll also just add, yeah, sorry. Was there a question? Okay, so I'll also just add, there were two other documents you should have two other documents you should have received at this appointment, 2 official documents. One on the blue official papers, Shel Misrad HaPnim, the Population and Immigration Authority. One paper is called the Tamtzit Rishum. Tamtzit Rishum is basically a summary of your registry in the Population and Immigration Authority of the State of Israel, and it will have all your personal details over there. So that's an official document. The second document you should have received is called Tofes Berur Pratim Al Nosea, an entry and exit letter, which would have listed all your entries and exit into and out of Israel in the last 7 years. That's an important document that you're going to need to take with you to Misrad HaKlita when you go, because that document is what's going to help them also. Like I said, when they determine your rights and benefits, they look at how long you've been in Israel before your Aliyah to, finalize which benefits you're eligible for. So you should have gotten those documents.
I don't think we got the Tamtzit Rishum.
Okay.
What is that?
Tamtzit Rishum is a summary of your registry in the Population and Immigration Authority. It would be a blue document that has your name and your birthday and, a lot of the information that's on your Teudat Zehut. And it would say on the top, Tamtzit Rishum.
Is it possible I didn't get it?
It's possible. It's also a document that I believe you might be able to get to download to ask online, or in many of the branches also, they have these like machines at the entrance that you can print them out. It's not something you would need an appointment for. Okay, so look through the documents and send me an email if you didn't get it.
I have the 4 documents I got in front of me, and the one that says when I entered and left Israel all the different times is called Teudat Berur Pratim Al Nosea. That's what you're talking about.
Exactly. Okay. That means Teudat Berur Pratim means details regarding a Nosea, passenger. It's called that, and also if someone asks the entry and exit form, it's the same letter. But that's exactly it. So that you'll need to take with you to Misrad HaKlita. So those are really basically all the important documents for Misrad HaPnim. So you should all be set. And like I said, Nechama, if you don't find it, let me know. We'll assist you with getting a print out of it, but it's not something urgent. Okay.
So that's, can I add? So the first thing we do now is go to Misrad HaKlita. Is that correct?
So wait, first for the next step here, I'm going into now that you have everything from Misrad HaPnim, we're on the next page. opening a bank account. Opening an Israeli bank account. This is specifically important for those of you who are going to be receiving the Sal Klita, the monetary benefit of the payments for 6 months. That's, if you're eligible for that benefit, Misrad Klita will require to see your bank information, and you need to have an Israeli bank account. Now, if you've been living here already in Israel and have a bank account, you can switch it over to an Israeli account by contacting your bank and telling them, I made Aliyah, here's my Teudat Zehut, and have it under your Teudat Zehut. Okay? So again, this is if you're receiving the Sal Klita, this is what they're going to ask you for, and they're going to request to see a printout of the Israeli account, an official printout from the bank stating that you have an open Israeli account with the bank details on it. So that's for bank. If you're married, it should be a joint bank account, and that's something you'll take to Misrad Klita also. Next step after that, I want to take a minute to talk about healthcare registration. Here, what makes a difference is that if you've already been here in Israel for many years and are under the Bituach Leumi system or not. Just a word, if you're not familiar, Bituach Leumi is a national insurance institute. It's the body responsible for healthcare, payments of various pensions, and allowances to Israeli residents. Every Israeli citizen needs to be registered with the Bituach Leumi. And every Israeli citizen also pays into the Bituach Leumi system. If you're working here with an Israeli paycheck, then automatically from your paycheck, any Israeli money goes out to Bituach Leumi. If you're not working, you'll need to pay into that system, into the Bituach Leumi system. And as Olim, you generally don't need to pay for the first 6 months. After 6 months, you're going to start getting bills for paying your portion to the Bituach Leumi system, or your portion that allows you to be on the healthcare system. So the first 6 months, you're not paying for it. You'll get emails from us closer later on about, information about setting that up. Okay, so Susan, are you under the Bituach Leumi here already, registered?
No, I am not.
You've never been under the Bituach Leumi system?
No.
Okay. So Nechama, I assume you have been? Yeah. Living here all these years, and Ditza, you haven't?
So we actually have the welcome plan by Maccabi.
Okay, but you're not listed there as Israeli citizens or registered, from Bituach Leumi. You're not paying like national insurance, right?
No, we pay them privately, basically.
You pay them privately. Okay. So if you've never been registered for Bituach Leumi, then you need to go to the post office, any post office. It costs 17 shekels, and you're going to tell them, I'd like to register for Maccabi, Meuchedet, Klalit, Leumit, whichever one you want. And after about 5 days, you should be able to go directly to your Kupat Cholim and get your membership card. Okay, that registers you under the Bituach Leumi system and allows you to pick your Kupat Cholim. That's how to register. You can read all this in the guide about specifics depending on the visa and things you've been here. But if you've never been registered with Bituach Leumi, go to the post office to register. Nechama, in your case, since you've already been living here for many, many years and you're under the Bituach Leumi system, in your case, it's supposed to switch over automatically. Give it a week, and in about a week, you can go directly you can call your kupa, whichever kupa you're in, and just check with them that they see you now under your Teudat Zehut number. Okay? So in your case, it's supposed to switch over automatically within about a week. Okay, any questions about that?
None for me.
Okay. So that's important. Kupat Cholim. By the way, I'll just add that every Kupat Cholim, you're signing up here for the basic healthcare coverage, right? That you get under, the national insurance allows you to be under the Kupat Cholim system and pick your kupa. Then every Kupat Cholim, each one of them also has additional supplemental healthcare that they offer. Meaning you can supplement that basic coverage by paying a certain amount of money per month, not a lot here in Israel, and you can really expand that health coverage with doctors and medication and other things that it's covered, so it's worth hearing about that from your Kupat Cholim. As Olim, you have 90 days to sign up for those additional supplemental healthcare, without a waiting period. So if you sign up within your first 90 days, you'll go automatically into that track that you signed up for. later on, just like any Israeli has the option to switch a kupat cholim, to add the supplemental healthcare, but sometimes the kupot have certain dates of the year when it goes into effect. If you switch by this date, it goes into effect at this date. So it's just important to know that as your rights as Olim, within 90 days, you won't be put on any waiting period, and will go into the supplemental coverage that you want. And for this, you'll need an Israeli bank account, usually set up through the Israeli bank account, the payments that you'll be paying your kupot.
Okay, I'm just not clear. So in 5 days after I register with the post office, I can go into the Maccabi office and sign up right then for supplemental insurance?
You can, yes. You're going to go to Maccabi once you're going to say, I want to make sure I'm in the system. I signed up a week ago. They'll say, yes, Susan, we see you in the system, and you can get your membership card. They'll probably tell you can ask what additional coverage, Maccabi Sheli, Maccabi, there's additional supplemental there, and then they'll sign you up with the additional payment for paying for those. Okay.
Is there, I'm sure you're not allowed to say what's better than the other, but is there some way or some site or something that we can go to that evaluates the different kupot and gives some guidance on what's the better for your individual situation?
So I'll tell you, it's a great question, and you're right, we can't recommend any specific kupa. I'll also say that I think sometimes it also depends on where you live. It could be that in certain cities, one kupa has more services or more English-speaking doctors. So the best is to speak to people in your community or in your area. We do have on our site stuff about the kupot cholim and some information about the different kupot. And I think we also had a webinar about healthcare in Israel, and there should be information there. Every kupa has its own website that you can also look at, but you'd like to check in your area what's really good. As some cities, and especially up in the north, you want to check, is a kupa really has the services that you need in your area that would be convenient for what you need. That also reminds me that I usually tell Olim that when you go get your membership card, you should ask them to spend a few minutes with you on some orientation and how to navigate the healthcare system, that kupa specifically. Every kupa has a website, has an app. There are things you can do online. There are correspondences you can do with the doctor without going. They should, you should ask all those questions so what's the local pharmacy in your neighborhood, what, family doctors, the closest clinic. You want to know some of that stuff. There's also a lot of competition between those kupot. They should invest that time in you as their clients to really, go over some of that information so you'll know how to navigate it in any time of need.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. All right, so that's about kupat cholim. And again, you can read through this more in detail. You have the guides. The third step is Misrad HaKlita. Misrad Aliyah VaKlita is the Ministry of Aliyah and Integration.
Can I ask you something about the kupat cholim for a second?
Sure.
So if I'm on already kupat cholim from before, so everything should stay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It should get updated automatically with all of my retzef and all of my records.
Exactly. Which kupa are you in?
Muchedet.
So yeah, you can call Meuchedet in a week from now and talk to them on the phone and say, I want to make sure you see me under my Teudat Zehut number, and they should. If you choose to switch kupa, that's totally up to you. But if you want to keep the one you're in, that's what it's going to be. Automatic Bituach Leumi is supposed to update that you made Aliyah and now you're switched over. So you can go and get a new membership card. Do you have a 77 number on yours?
Yeah.
Okay. So so you can get another membership card with your Teudat Zehut on it.
Okay, very good.
Okay, but it should all be automatic. If you run into any trouble, ze lo avar, as it should, give us a call.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Okay, so Misrad Aliyah VaKlita, the Ministry of Aliyah and Integration is the ministry that's responsible for all your Aliyah rights and benefits. As I said, I see some people joined us after we started, so shalom. And I'm just going to repeat what I said in the beginning, that Aliyah rights and benefits are based on previous stays in Israel that affects which benefits you're eligible for. So Misrad Aliyah VaKlita is the ministry that's really going to be the one that determines what you're getting. You might have an idea already from your Aliyah advisors in the process that you've been through up until now. Misrad Aliyah VaKlita has branches in different cities. Unlike Misrad Apnim, you can only go to the branch that's associated with your address. So if you live in Yerushalayim, you can only reach out to the branch in Yerushalayim. That's the only branch that's going to serve you. The same for Tel Aviv, and obviously all the cities. Every city is assigned to one of the branches. So to book your first appointment or to reach out to them, the first appointment you can't do online. You have to email or call them and tell them, hi, I made Aliyah. This is my Teudat Zehut number. I just made Aliyah, last week, and I need an appointment with one of your advisors. And they have advisors according to languages. They'll have an English-speaking advisor who will call you in for an appointment. I'll just say if anyone here on this Zoom has been served in the IDF or participated in a Masa program, some of that time doesn't count towards your time in Israel. That affects benefits. You'll need to bring a letter that you were in service or you were on a Masa program. You'll need to bring that with you to the appointment. Is there anyone here who's a former A1? Former A1 visa holder? Okay. Are you? Wasn't a yes, right? Okay. Okay, because there's slightly different steps for someone who was a former A1 visa holder. Okay, so to your appointment with Misrad HaKlita, you're going to bring with you your Teudat Zehut, your foreign passport, the bank account information that you opened an Israeli account. You'll need to bring one passport photo for each adult and a proof of living abroad. I'll also just say that when you email them or reach out to them to set up the appointment for Misrad HaKlita, they're going to tell you, they might need you to send them over email certain documents before you come so they can prepare your Teudat Oleh or Teudat Zakaut, whatever it is you're eligible for. So they will tell you what are the documents and stuff you need to bring. But this is the ministry that if you're eligible for the Sal Klita, the monetary benefit, they're going to set up those payments through your bank account. If you're eligible and entitled to get free Ulpan, they're going to go over the Ulpan details and how to register for that, which is also through them. If you're getting higher education tuition or whatever it is, the customs benefit, whatever it is from the benefits, they're going to go over with you at Misrad HaKlita at this appointment. Now, I just want to scroll down for a second to show you two things. Number one, on page, here we go. First of all, on this page, which is page 11 in your guide, you'll see we already have a chart here about benefits affected by previous stays in Israel. So it can give you a bit of an idea, okay? If you've spent 24 months in Israel in the last 3 years prior to receiving your Oleh status, these are some of the benefits you'd be eligible for. As you see here on the last one, the longer you've been here, there are many benefits you're not eligible for. So you can take a look at page 11 to give you an idea about what to expect. If you've been in Israel for that amount of time, like it says here, if you've been here for 5 years out of the last 7, you're not going to get a Teudat Oleh, but they will give you a letter that says, it's called a Michtav Izakaut. Basically, it's a letter that says this person is in a status of an Oleh Chadash, even though they're not eligible for most of the benefits. So if you are getting some of the few benefits that are listed here, you're going to have to bring a letter from them that says, you're an Oleh Chadash and can get that. So that's something that they will give you over there. And the other thing I wanted to show you, which is also down here, is on page 12, we put together a list of all the Misrad HaKlita branches. You don't have to go looking for which branch is yours, and you can reach out to them on the phone. Here are the phone numbers for all the branches in the country. You'll see the branch on the left, and on the right, you'll see which cities that branch serves. So you'll find the city you live in and reach out to that branch. If you prefer email, you can go into this link here on the top. It has the Klita offices where I'm pointing right now. And if you prefer, you can send them an email. You can send them tomorrow. You can send them later on. Send them in an email that says you made Aliyah with your Teudat Zehut and scheduling an appointment. Okay, so all the branches in Israel appear over here. I'm going to go back up to where we were, but that's about Misrad HaKlita. Okay, any questions about Misrad HaKlita as we scroll back up? Okay. Okay, if you have questions you want to write in the chat, I will try to look at the chat every now and then also, or feel free to stop me. Like I said, we're a small group, so you can really feel free to stop me and ask your question. So we went over Misrad HaKlita. Okay. The other thing I want to talk about is monthly child benefit. This is really something that anyone here who just made Aliyah and has children under the age of 18, there is something called Kitzbat Yeladim. It is not something related to the fact that you made Aliyah, it's the fact that you're an Israeli citizen. Now, every Israeli citizen who has children under the age of 18 receives a certain monthly stipend for the children. It's called Kitzbat Yeladim. It's something that should start automatically after you visited Misrad HaKlita and gave them the bank information. But if it's already been a month or two and you didn't receive it, then definitely reach out to us because they won't pay back more than 3 months retroactive. So if you didn't, there's a form to set that you can fill out and upload it to Bituach Leumi. Again, it's something that's supposed to start automatically. We put it here in the guide just so you know about it and can be aware to be on the lookout for it in your bank account. There's something also in addition to that that's called the government child savings plan. Very important to read the article we have here about it, okay? Because there's significant implications about choosing that government plan for Bituach Leumi. Again, I don't know who here on the Zoom this is relevant for. I'm happy to discuss more about that if you want, but there's also information here in this article about setting up that savings plan. Okay. Let me talk for a minute about driver's license, okay? What's important to know is that in Israel, I think in other countries as well, you can drive on your foreign license for up to 1 year from your last entry date, not your Aliyah date. Meaning if you've already been here for almost a year or more than a year, then you can't drive on your foreign license. So that's important to know as far as what's considered legal. You can convert your license to an Israeli license. What they're going to ask you for, the conversion process is not very long, and I'd say that if you have a valid foreign license from abroad, and you can show that you've been driving for 5 years before your Aliyah, what does that mean, 5 years? You'll have to see what it says on your license. Does your current license show 5 years from before your Aliyah? If it doesn't, they'll want to see either a copy of your previous license, your old license, or you can get from your DMV, from your state, a printout of your Aliyah, of your driving record, driving history, whatever, one of those documents that state your issue date. If you have that, then you'll be exempt from a driving test and the theory test, and we call it the expedited conversion process. There's 3 steps to this process. One is filling out all the information's on our site, also with direct links to the different government forms and whatever you need. There's a form called the Tofes Yarok, which that's how anyone starts the process. And you're going to fill out that form. It asks a lot of medical questions. And if you're going to click yes to any of the medical questions, or if you're on medication, you should submit the form with a letter from your Kupat Cholim doctor stating that you are fit to drive. That will really help it get approved much faster than going to medical committees. Once you fill that out, you get an SMS. If you were approved and cleared, you'll get an SMS to move to the next step. The next step is everyone has to get their eyes checked and photo taken in one of their authorized stations, which is optometrists all over the country. You'll get a link with the different places around the country that do this. And you'll get your eyes checked and photo taken. It will all be uploaded to their computer system. And the third step, you'd be booking an appointment with Misrad HaRishui, the Ministry of Transportation. You'll need to bring your Teudat Zehut, your Teudat Oleh, or the letter that you made Aliyah if you're not getting a Teudat Oleh, your valid license, and proof of driving for 5 years. And that should be it if you have that 5-year record. If you don't have 5 years, you have more than 3, but not 5, you'll be asked to take a short conversion driving test. Okay, but it's a process that, by the way, Olim can do this process, this expedited process, within 5 years of their Aliyah. But again, if you can't be driving already on your foreign license, you should go ahead and start to do this process. Questions about the license? Okay. Okay, next step I want to talk about is Arnona. Again, this is for people, Olim, who are eligible for this. Again, if you've been living here for many years, you're not going to get this benefit, but those of you who are eligible for the Arnona discount, there's a discount. Arnona is a municipal tax that you pay based on where you live and the size of your place, whether you're renting or own the place. Olim get a 90% discount up on the first 100 meters of their apartment. If it's more than that, you'll only get for 100 meters. It's something that you can apply for one out of your first 2 years of Aliyah. Okay, you get this discount for 12 months, either in your first or second year. After that, you miss out on it. So I strongly recommend figuring out when you want to use this. And it's for your municipality. If you live in Yerushalayim, for example, you'll see all the information's online and in English to submit your contract or proof of ownership, a 12-month contract or proof of ownership, your Teudat Olet, Teudat Zehut, and they will calculate this discount. This is, again, you apply through whichever municipality you live in. So it's a really great benefit if you get it. And you can let us know if you have any questions. I'm going to skip school registration. I assume people are in school already. If you have kids who are in school, if not, feel free to stop me. I assume that at this point, people are registered. If not, again, it's through the education department in your municipalities. Happy to assist any family who needs assistance with that. And the last thing, or another important thing I want to talk about, is getting your Israeli passport. As Israeli citizens, you now became citizens, and you'd be required now for traveling purposes as Israelis to leave Israel with your Israeli passport and to enter Israel with your Israeli passport. If you're traveling to the US or Canada, you'll use your foreign passport to enter or exit that country. But for leaving and entering Israel, you need an Israeli passport. Olim can apply for an Israeli passport 3 months after your Aliyah date. If you made Aliyah last week, you can figure out in 3 months from now, you'll need to go get your Israeli passport. You can book that appointment in advance because sometimes it's hard to find those appointments. There's a lot of backlog now by Israelis and all the Population and Immigration Authority branches all over the country for passports. I think Israel dealt with a lot of people not renewing their passports during COVID, and now a lot of people are traveling, and they're having a very hard time to keep up with that amount of passport requests. Therefore, first of all, there's a directive now by the Population and Immigration Authority that allows any Israeli citizen who holds a foreign passport to travel in and out of Israel on their foreign passport until January 1st. So if anyone here is traveling before January 1st, you just go with you have to have a valid foreign passport, but if you have a valid foreign passport, you can travel in and out of Israel. I suggest taking your Teudat Zehut with you, just in case coming in, you'll need to show some proof that you're an Israeli citizen. It is yeah.
So when they put something in my passport that says, I'm looking
It's
for
an Aliyah
exactly,
visa, I believe.
that lets me travel until I get, where is it?
It's usually a letter. Was it a separate letter, maybe? It's not something they put in the passport. It's a letter you might have got with the paper.
Yeah, I guess that says that entitles
an exit permit. Yes.
So that means that if I don't get an appointment by January 1st, I can still come and go. I can still travel.
If you received one of those letters, that letter has an expiration date. You can check that. Basically, they used to give everybody that letter when they made Aliyah that would say, oh, this person can travel. They're Israeli. They don't have a passport yet because they're Olim and have to wait the 3 months, but they can travel. They have permission to travel on their foreign passport. The reason some of you might have not gotten is because of this directive that allows any Israeli with a foreign passport to travel till January 1st. That's why they stopped giving it out automatically. So if you have that, Susan, it would have an expiration date, which was probably going to be February or something, or late January. And that's fine. Yes, if you're going to travel, you can show that letter. So because most of you, I believe, made Aliyah last week. So I'd say, mid-October, November, December, January, you have to wait till mid or end of January to book your appointment. If you need to travel after January 1st, first of all, we'll see. We have no idea if this directive will be extended or not. And if it's not, and you have to travel after that point, you might just have to go to one of the branches to get an exit letter, which is what they will give you that says you have permission to travel on your foreign passport after that date, if needed. And again, we're talking about something later on in January. If you have travel plans post that after that date, feel free to give us a call and we'll be happy to assist you with whatever questions and what you need. But I do recommend that if you already know now, and if you go onto the myvisit.com website to book an appointment, It's a great website that you can book a lot of different appointments for different services. You'll be looking, it's all here on the page, but you'll be looking for the Population and Immigration Authority, and you'll be booking an appointment for first passport. If you go on now, you'll see appointments for January, February, so it's worth it. It will give you a chance to book the branch you want. The closer you get to it, it might be harder to find appointments. Passport does have a fee. Passports cost about 265 shekels for an adult. However, your passport time falls under this special, they have a special winter rate. They try to encourage people to get passports in the winter so it doesn't get so crazy in the summer high season. So it actually works in your benefit. But between November 1st and the end of February, if you get your passport then, you can pay online. You'll need an Israeli credit card. You can pay online before the appointment and it will be 100 shekels less. So any appointment, and which was you're going to be getting hopefully your passports between those dates, between November and February, so you'll be enjoying that winter rate. The passports now can take about 5-6 weeks to arrive after the appointment, so it's something to take into consideration. Again, there's delays with all these with the DOA, with the post office, and with the biometric factory, so it's longer than it used to be. And another important point about the passport, you should know that Olim get a first passport for 1 year. The passports you're going to get will expire after 1 year. And after 1 year, when you go to extend to renew your passport, they're going to look at your first year of Aliyah. And if in your first year of Aliyah, you've been living here for 75% of the year, they're going to renew your passport to a 5-year passport. If you're not here in the country for that amount of time after your first year, they'll either give you a 1-year passport again or issue you a document that's called Teudat Ma'avar, which is a travel document for 5 years. And it will allow you to travel in and out of Israel. Not every country sees it as a passport. That's important to note. But if you have a foreign passport, then you know it's not such a big deal. But it will be a travel document for 5 years. So you don't need to repay again when you go renew it after your first year. But I do want you all to know when you get the passport, not to be alarmed when you'll see an expiration date for 1 year. So that's about passports and traveling abroad. Are there any questions about that? All the information is here in our guide and the link to our site where you have all that information, the fee, the link to payments, all that is on our page. Any questions about traveling?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I would like to know what's the website to order a passport?
So to book the appointment, you'll see here on my screen, basically you're going to book the appointment. You can go onto a website called myvisit.com. Let me write it in the chat. myvisit.com. Okay, and it will open up a bunch of, you'll put in your Teudat Zehut and a phone number, and you can book appointments for different offices. You're going to look for this, what I'm circling here on the screen, Population and Immigration Authority. That's the office that issues Teudat Zehut and passports. You'll click on that. It'll give you the option to click on a first passport, and then it will open up a bunch of dates. Now, I recommend checking different branches. You can go to almost, aside from Modi'in, if you're not a resident of Modi'in, but aside from Modi'in that only serves residents of Modi'in, almost all the branches you can go to. So you can pick the one of your choice and book that appointment. You can book it now, you can book it later, in a few months from now, closer to, but just remember that that's something you'll need to book.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so any other questions about travel or passports? But like I said, until January 1st, you can, if you have any travel plans, you'll travel on your foreign passports. So on page 10, I'm not going to go over this. Again, this is a list of all the rights and benefits. Each benefit has its time frame of when it starts and when it ends, and you don't want to lose out on different things. You want to make sure you're fully set up. I always recommend to go back to this list every few months to just see that you're on target where you should be. And again, you'll know from Misrad HaKlita when you go for that appointment what you're eligible for based on what you're getting based on how long you've been here before. So they're going to tell you, and then you can look through here and see what are the things you're eligible for and how to set that up. And just to be on that time frame, we probably have like webinars on our website. Our website has so many pre-recorded webinars that we did almost on each one of these. So if there's a topic you want to get to know, like even the license conversion, you want to know more about it, we have a webinar about that, about shipment and customs, bringing in that stuff. there's a webinar. There's lots and lots of helpful information on our site. So the next page I already showed you is really the list of benefits affected by previous stays in Israel. So it gives you an idea of what to expect based on your specific situation. And Misrad HaKlita contact info, we went over that as well. And then on the next page, like I said, some of you have been living here for many years and know how to navigate the different systems and life in Israel. Some of you haven't been here for very long. We put together here a page. It's in orange with the scissors. You can cut this page out of the guide and put it on your fridge if you want. But this is really information about emergency, contact numbers. We don't have 911 that you call for everything. There's a number for the police, and there's a number for the ambulance, and a number for the fire department. Also, we put here also the numbers of all the different Kupot Cholim, some information about urgent care, some other helpful organizations. Again, I hope you won't need it, but if you do, we just wanted you to have some helpful contacts and organizations handy. I'll also say a word about something called the municipal coordinators. Many cities have this role, this position, which is really great, called the Municipal Olim Coordinator. And their job is to assist Olim in that municipality. So if you needed help with registering your kids to school, or if you needed help setting up the Arnona benefit, or if you wanted to know which Olim programs and services and things are available in your community, you'll want to reach out to the municipal coordinator. If you live in Yerushalayim, Tel Aviv, Modi'in, Ra'anana, Bet Shemesh, many of these cities have a municipal coordinator. You can find the whole list here on this link with all the coordinators, with all the municipalities that have an Olim coordinator, and you can reach out to them to just introduce yourself, or to, or if you need any municipal help, anything related to that specific city, they're a very, very good contact. We work a lot with many of them, so that I recommend, and you'll see there's other helpful information. Like I said in the beginning, some of you might have missed the beginning. Melissa from the post-Aliyah department, you're all now on the post-Aliyah side of things, which is super exciting, and you can feel free to reach out to us with any question. Like I said, it doesn't matter a week after your Aliyah or a decade after your Aliyah. We're a team of advisors, and it doesn't matter who you reach. You're not assigned to a specific advisor. We each have different expertise within our team and different contexts that we work with. Our email is answers@nbn.org.il, and our phone number is *3680. We answer the phone Sunday through Thursday, 9 to 3. And you can really feel free to reach out to any of us with any issue, a Bituach Leumi issue, Ministry of Transportation, Misrad HaPnim passport appointments, Teudat Zehut questions, Misrad HaKlita benefits, you name it, whatever it is that we can assist you with setting up and helping you through different bureaucratic steps or helping you understand different things. We also have volunteers. Sometimes we have volunteers who help people open different accounts online, help with translating different documents. So if there are things that you need, you can really reach out to us. We have an employment department with employment advisors if you're looking for work. We have educational guidance, whether you have kids in elementary school or high school, or you're looking into higher education. We have that as well, a community guidance. All the information is here. If you're in Yerushalayim, we have a really lovely Aliyah campus. We've been there for 1 year. It's really nice in Cinema City. There are lots of events there. And if anyone also wants to set up a walk-in for some assistance on something you're dealing with, but we have lots of events. If you're in Tel Aviv, you can reach out to our Tel Aviv hub. It's on Rothschild, and it's a great place where you can come and work. And also meet with an advisor or follow their different events that they have. We have the Lone Soldier Program team for anyone who's doing Army, and really lots of different resources. Something called the Israel Calendar. If you're interested in all these English-speaking events, not just Nefesh B'Nefesh, but all over, you should follow this calendar. It's really great to see different things that are happening around Israel, different events. Like I said, really, you can go onto our site. We have so many webinars and articles and lots of helpful information that I recommend, for all these topics. We went over here, everything in general, but anything you want to know more about or get more information, please feel free to either use our website or definitely call us, and we're happy to assist.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How much it takes time that if I did Aliyah last week, how much it take time that it should be on the system to open a bank account?
You made Aliyah when?
Last week.
No, you can open a bank account. How long, do you have an Israeli account already?
No, I'm asking how long it takes.
What is,
I could
you
do it
have
right
to,
away.
yeah, you can go to a bank. You have a Teudat Zehut. That's what they want to see. You have a Teudat Zehut. You can contact whichever bank you want. And many banks require to set up an appointment and not just walk in, because opening a bank account for Olim is longer than a regular appointment. If you're an American citizen, you'll have to submit a W-9 form and your social security number. Once you have a Teudat Zehut, you can go and open an account. Now, they might ask you for a Teudat Oleh, and if they ask you for a Teudat Oleh, you'll have to get that from Misrad HaKlita first. But there are banks that will open an account just with your Teudat Zehut. So it depends on the bank you're going to go to.
And for the Bituach Lomi, if I used to be with the Kupat Cholim and I stopped and I came back now.
What's your status? What's your status? Are you a Toshav Choser? Are you?
No, I used to be on a visa student.
But were
visa.
you paying Bituach Leumi?
I was paying Meuchadet.
Meuchedet, but were you under the Bituach Leumi system?
I don't know. I was paying Meuchadet every month, so I don't know.
Yeah, but Meuchedet is something different. Were you on the Zoom in the part where we talked about Bituach Leumi?
Yeah, but I think I missed it. I came before or in the middle.
So if you've never been under the Bituach Leumi system, you need to go register for your Kupat Cholim at the Doar, at the Israeli Post Office, and sign up for your Kupat Cholim through that. If you want me to check specifically your details, then why don't you give us a call tomorrow morning or send me an email, and I'm happy to look at your specific case to see,
Okay.
Based on your status and stuff, let's just make sure that, you're doing the right step that way. Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So you can give me a call tomorrow or send an email to answers@nbn.org.il and tell me I just need help with signing up for my healthcare. If someone can, be in touch, or you can write it to me. My name's Aliza.
Aliyah, okay.
And you can write it to me and we can be in touch tomorrow.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Sure. Are there any other questions?
Yes. If I'm not getting any benefits, so I need to go to Misrad HaKlita.
So it's a good question, Nechama. Nechama, are you working here in an Israeli workplace?
I'm gonna start January.
And you're going to be working with an Israeli paycheck, getting a tlush maskoret?
Yeah.
Okay, so that, for example, is also, do you need to convert your driver's license? Do you have a license?
No, I don't have a license.
You what?
I don't have one.
You don't have a license. Okay. So I can tell you, Nechama, for example, in the workplace, there's a certain benefit that that Olim can get, mashuba, that you, on the Tofes Oved, the form you get, they ask you in the back different questions. And if you made Aliyah, you get some sort of discount in the tax bracket mashu. So if you're going to, for example, want to use something like that in your workplace is going to ask you for proof that you're an Olah. Your Teudat Zehut doesn't state that you're an Olah. It states that you're an Israeli citizen. So I recommend going to Misrad HaKlita. It's not urgent, right? But I recommend going to Misrad HaKlita so they can write you a letter that says she's in the status of an Olah Chadasha, even though you're not getting a Teudat Oleh in the benefits. And then for the workplace in the salary, they'll be able to take that into account. You might also be eligible to bring in a package or a few things. You can look up the customs benefit. Also for that, you'll just need a letter that states that you're in Olah, even though you're not getting most of the benefits. So I would recommend going so you get that letter, just so you have it for the few things that you're going to need.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? So you know how to reach us. Any questions you have, please give us a call or send us an email. I want to thank you for joining at this hour this evening. I want to wish you again a huge mazal tov on officially becoming Israeli. Mazal tov from all of us, and I hope you'll be in touch. Lots of hatzlacha, and have a great week.
Thank you.
You too.
All right, simcha.